of course, I'm going to be teaching you how to steal multiple types of watches, leather straps, metal straps, and even Apple watches.
It's no secret that things can get spicy, slicey, and dicey when you wear your wristwatch in public, especially if your watch looks expensive. The truth is, your watch doesn't actually have to be expensive or even authentic for a dirtbag to want to steal it from you. Now, thankfully, there are some aftermarket contraptions you can add to your watch and even some DIY solutions to try and mitigate these threats of watch theft. We're going to explore whether or not these devices are worth the money, and we're even going to watch just how a professional steals a watch right off of your wrist. It is 3:24 p.m. Let's get down to business. So it's true. Pretty much everywhere you go on Earth, you are surrounded by people who may or may not want to do you harm, so maybe we should all go to the moon. Which is where my buddies Wolf Watch Club come into play, because they've got your ticket to the moon watch. That's right, guys, I'm collaborating with Wolf Watch Club to tell you you've got a shot to get one of probably the most iconic chronographs ever made, the Omega Speedmaster. Now listen, this thing's brand new, in box, and there's only 399 tickets, $39.99 each. So as always with Wolf Watch Club, there's limited odds and a huge prize. Now guys, there's not a whole lot of time for this. The draw happens July 6th, and I'll be here to reveal the winner. Now my viewers get 10% off when you use this coupon code WOLFTIME10, but here's the deal. It only works for the first 30 people who use it. So as always, this is for real watch collectors, no bots, no gimmicks, just full transparency and incredible watches. So if you've ever wanted an Omega Speedmaster, now's your chance. Go over to wolfwatchclub.com and get your ticket to the moon.
I've been doing this for well over 20 years, and I'm going to be sharing with you everything I've learned in that time so that you can be fully equipped to be able to steal.
I'm going to be honest, the nail polish threw me off a little bit. I think it is actually a helpful tool when it comes to showing sleight of hand techniques, because you can see exactly where his fingers are positioned. But who knows? It's probably also a stylistic choice, and it's 2025, dude. Do whatever the f you want.
Steal your first watch, including the precise position your body needs to be in to trick their peripheral vision, as well as knowing the exact right moment to actually take the watch. I'm also going to be covering how you keep everybody else quiet in that moment. And finally, I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite way of revealing the watch right under their very nose. Even though they're looking at it, they will only see it when you're ready for them to.
If I balance it. Oh my God! Yeah.
And of course, I'm going to be teaching you how to steal multiple types of watches, leather straps, metal straps, and even Apple watches.
Okay, what we can see here from the clips that I've shared with you is this magician, this illusionist, is utilizing sleight of hand and very delicately either actuating the clasp or the buckle, sliding it off your wrist in a way that you are distracted and, ends up you're none the wiser. You don't have the watch. He has the watch. He shows it to you at the end. Everyone laughs. Everyone's shocked. And it's very, very cool. Now, could this happen to you in real life where someone is that technically, savvy and can actually do that to you without you noticing? Perhaps that is a possibility, especially because this guy just showed you how to do it. So it's those kinds of attacks that have kind of been answered by the, online market. People are selling anti-theft protection for your watch. This is watchstrips.com. And, I have my own opinions on these products, and I'm going to share them with you here. I'm not trying to besmirch any of these companies, but you can see it's essentially a clear adhesive strap, thin, invisible anti-theft device for your wristwatch, so no one can sneak off your watch unnoticed. Excuse me, I thought they were going to say sneak it off your wrist unnoticed, but whatever, I just anticipated what they were going to say. Will it fit my watch? The short answer is yes. we developed watch strips to fit every watch and every kind of clasp or strap. So, here we can see a Rolex clasp. Of course, we can see a conventional buckle here. And, yeah, I guess that would help mitigate someone who is very good at that kind of sleight of hand, secretly sliding off the buckle and undoing the clasp. Of course, something like this would work. And we do actually see right here, okay, a DIY solution. Zip tie on your clasp. And it's probably cheaper than that watch strip. That watch strip, I think, was €4. This is a single zip tie, so very, very cheap. Probably less comfortable than that watch strip, and also less discreet than that watch strip. And then, of course, the excess trimming of the zip tie is probably going to slice the heck out of you if you're not careful. Now, this also accomplishes the same thing as the watch strip. Nobody's really going to be able to undo that zip tie and undo that clasp without you noticing. So that's cool. Now, I also, as I was trying to find this zip tie picture, you can see here, this I believe is for specifically like an Apple Watch, but they make straps where you can literally like lock the buckle on your wrist. So again, that mitigates some kind of very savvy sleight of hand effort to remove your smartwatch. But then we have this, okay, and this, I'm going to be honest, this is a terrible website, watchprotectionclip.com. Doesn't tell you anything about what it is. It's I guess like this rear clip that locks the clasp in some way. It's a flashy website, but again, it's not super clear about how it works exactly. But you can choose the kind of watch that you have. It looks like they focus pretty much exclusively on Rolex, or exclusively on Rolex. And they have let's see, you can contact them. This dude has a McLaren that is very tastefully wrapped in shiny gold. And yeah, I guess this also, depending on how it works, again, I have no idea how it works. Although here, I guess it says you can choose out of any of these watches. Okay, interesting. They only market Rolexes, but whatever. You can mitigate those kinds of attacks with people undoing the clasp of your watch without you noticing. Again, I have no idea how this product works. What do I think about all of these products? They will work to stop people from delicately undoing a clasp or delicately undoing a buckle. Here's why I think these products are all kind of useless in the real world. It's because I think 9 times out of 10, you are not going to encounter someone very delicately, tactfully removing a watch gently from your wrist. In fact, during T3 Crime Stoppers, that series I have whenever we go over these kinds of thefts, again, 9 times out of 10, it's a very kinetic, hostile interaction where someone is tearing the watch off your wrist. And the truth is, the buckle and the clasp is not the weakest, most vulnerable part of your watch. It's actually the spring bar, the main spring bar closest to the head of the watch. Again, the lugs, right? That big spring bar that affixes the strap to the lugs or the bracelet to the lugs. You are more than likely going to have a spring bar failure with the watch being torn off your wrist than the clasp being undone or the buckle being undone. It just is what it is. I mean, people have spring bar failures all the time just walking around, but you don't often have a clasp just undo itself arbitrarily. You don't have a buckle just arbitrarily slip off your wrist. But again, there's horror stories every day of people having a spring bar failure. So when people want your watch, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to grab the head of it and tear it off. And yeah, it's going to hurt, but it's probably just going to fail at the spring bar. you're not really going to encounter too many of these very adept magicians who are like, hey there, how are you? Oh, look, was that a bird? Oh, never mind. Have a good day. And then you're like, oh, shoot, where'd my dang watch go? It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. These are interesting products in case you encounter David Copperfield, but like the reality of the situation is if someone's going to steal your watch, they're either going to pull a weapon on you and make you take it off your own wrist, or they are going to grab your wrist, tear the watch off. It's going to have a spring bar failure, and you're going to have a sore wrist and a bummed ego. That's the situation. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of these kinds of products. That's my opinion. Leave me your opinion in the comment section below. And yeah, do any of you have any of these kinds of items? So guys, if you couldn't tell, I'm not a huge fan of these kind of contraptions that you add to your wristwatch. I think it's kind of a waste of money. It's a waste of time to put them on. And I think your best option when it comes to mitigating any threat that would want to steal your watch is by having a good amount of situational awareness, a good amount of spatial awareness, and perhaps if you're even in an area where you think you're going to be robbed, maybe don't go there and probably don't wear a watch. But that's just me. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed, and stay in the fight. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.